Meanwhile, so while you guys are having this conversation, Salo, when Pip and Stan follow you into the like your office, what does it look like? What is it like?
So down in the laboratory is a lot. I mean, there's tables with just stuff all over them. It's messy, but in an organized way. Like, you can tell that, like, okay, this is a total mess to me, but I'm sure the person who made the mess knows where everything is. And there's digital whiteboards everywhere with diagrams and things on them. It's very eccentric genius kind of feeling.
Okay. You will, while all of the lights, flash on, of course, both Stan and Pip are in awe of everything. And that will be the moment when you hear Nathan yelling down from upstairs.
All right.
For you to come up.
And I'll turn around and realize that there's only two people following me, neither of whom are particularly the ones I want to talk to. It'll be like, oh, all right then, and I'll come back upstairs.
As you go upstairs, Broto pulls out a pistol, actually, and he will lead Salo upstairs because what Nathan says alerted Broto. So he will lead Salo upstairs. So you will see the big giant Quarian come out first with a pistol. Not aiming at anyone, but at least he has it out.
Put the goddamn gun away, will you? Jesus.
When they're coming up? Yeah. Can I scan the area, or there is stuff keeping Gimmick from scanning?
Would there be anything that would jam Gimmick from scanning this area, just out of curiosity?
Past the door, past the secret wall door? Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Gimmick would try and fail.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is similar to another place we were before.
So yeah, Nathan sees the giant Quarian come up the stairwell and say, "Put the goddamn gun away, will you? Jesus."
It's all right, Broto. Just put the gun away. Everything's fine.
Broto will listen to Salo and he will put the gun away.
Does Gimmick get any signal from Broto? Like a message, like a connection, like the one that were transmitted from before?
Is Gimmick trying to?
It's scanning the area.
I will ask Quentin, would Gimmick be able to notice anything from his scanning when he scans Broto?
I mean, since he picked up on the signal before, if you were specifically looking for that thing, which nobody else knows about, then yeah, you could probably see.
Yeah. Oh. You will sense something from Broto, and you will sense the same type of signal coming from Broto, which is really weird that its source is from this Quarian. The source of this signal is from this Quarian. So there's something really strange going on.
Oh, wow, this is interesting. Well,
So, Salo, you might want to sit down for this one.
I think we should talk about this. It's really hard to get an impression of you guys because you have that helmet on. So yeah, I don't know what to make of you yet. But Salo, can I ask you a question?
Of course.
What do you think about AI?
Well, I think it's a rather complicated subject. I think that a lot of people have negative impressions of AI. I mean, they were pretty much all destroyed when Shepard did what they did. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think that ultimately people are going to be people, and that this whole artificial intelligence are a threat to humanity. I think anything that exists can be a threat to humanity. It's by simply existing, the possibility of doing something bad exists. It doesn't matter what you are.
Well, but what do you think about AI as a thing? How do you see them?
I see them as people.
Oh,
Different kind of people.
wow! You are the first one I ever heard say that something like that.
And I'll say, you are definitely a different kind of AI than I have ever met. And I'll show him my Omni tool, which is flashing this alert that says foreign artificial intelligence detected because you passed through my little
Nice.
doorway.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, wow! You have quite advanced technology.
Well,
So it's
when you're in my line of
true.
work, you have to take precautions.
David is now looking at Gimmick, and at this moment he sort of kind of grabbed a hold of Nathan's arm at this point, not just his hand but his arm, and he's looking at Gimmick and he's so it's true. You're not supposed to be here.
Why?
It's a very long story.
You're not allowed.
I'll-
It's against the law.
David, I'll explain it all to you later, okay? I promise.
Technically,
Are you friends with it, Nathan? David says as he looks towards your direction.
In a way, yes.
Yay!
His hand,
Gimmick, like-
his grasp around your arm loosens a little bit. Not completely, but loosens a little bit. And you sense a little bit of a twinge of betrayal there, kind of, almost, but not really. But kind of.
Out of character, technically, Gimmick is not against the law because you said the law was against recreating AI life. Gimmick precedes all of that.
Is that what Vito says? Does Vito
Oh,
say
but that's
that?
just out of character.
Right,
and-
out of character.
Yeah,
Yes.
technically Vito does say that because
technically,
Look, Salo, David, as you can probably tell, David and I have a history, an intimate one. David has, you know what, David, I think it'd be best if you told him this, because NDAs work both ways, right?
I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it.
And you kind of hear Salo go, oh god, what was that Quarian swear word? Keela. He'll go, oh, Keela. David Archer.
Yeah,
I,
you know about David Archer very well.
I knew I knew that name sounded familiar. Yes, I think
Well-
we all better sit down.
I think you know what I know now as well, though, considering that David here's been hearing your voice in his head.
I'm sure amongst other things.
Quiet, please. Make it stop.
Nathan will turn and immediately start asking
I'll
questions.
push a button on my
questions.
Omni tool and it will stop.
It will stop. Okay.
Yay! So,
What?
are we going to sit here on the stairs, or should we go somewhere more comfortable?
And I'll just kind of I'll look at David and I'll just say, David, I'm very sorry for what you've been through. I know it was not right, and there's very little I can say to help you feel better about it, but just know that it was humans, it was organic beings that put you in that situation, not synthetics. The synthetics did harm you. I'm not denying that. They did great harm to you. But it was humans, it was organic life that put you in that situation to begin with. If someone locked you in a room full of bees, you wouldn't blame the bees for stinging you. You'd blame the people who put you in the room with the bees.
He processes this. That's not what Jack said.
No, what did Shaq say?
She said that the Geth were monsters and they can't hurt me anymore.
Oh,
I mean, she's not wrong. They can't hurt you anymore. Well, they used to not be able to anyway. And he looks at Salo.
What my brother did, he betrayed me. I trusted him. I thought that he was doing what he did because he was trying to protect me, but he didn't. He used me. It's been very hard for me to trust people.
I can understand that, but you have my promise that no harm will come to you here. I am very aware of what happened to you in great detail, and I promise you that nothing like that on my watch will ever happen again.
David will look towards Nathan again in the eye. Nathan,
Yes.
can I trust you?
Nathan doesn't look alarmed or shocked when David asks him that. It's probably a question he got a lot when they were together. And Nathan will very simply say, you and I both know, David, that I would easily do a lot more than what Shepard did for you that day. So, when it comes to trusting me, David, you've always been a good judge of character. So, I'll let you decide.
He will quiet down and he will just sit and just process whatever happens next.
Nathan pulls out a cigar again.
By this point, Pip and Stan will emerge. There you are. We were wondering where everybody went. It's an amazing lab down there. You should come check it out. And Stan will be. Well, actually, Stan isn't there. Actually, Stan is still downstairs at the lab. Pip came up, but Stan did not.
I hope he doesn't
Not a
pretend.
good
But
idea. Yeah. Maybe not a good idea to leave him alone down there.
It's fine.
yeah,
And so Salo will say, I suppose the cat is out of the bag here. I have recreated the Geth.
You're a crazy, crazy man, you know that?
David breathes in, and he inhales, but he doesn't say anything.
Like any species, portions of the Geth did bad things. But we've seen what happens in organic species again and again throughout the histories of many different organic species. What happens when you deem an entire group monsters?
Some of them deservedly.
Human history is full of it. The Krogans were all effectively neutered. There's always more sides to the story than people are aware.
Wow, that's amazing, Pip says. But, pardon me, Mr. Vera, but, and I know that you can only take these kind of things with a grain of salt, but I had read on a few articles that you in particularly hated the Geth and what they did to your people. I know that Quarians in general hated the Geth, but you in particular, I thought, didn't like them.
That is the stance that one has to take in the public image, both when in a universe where all synthetic life was destroyed, and also when one is doing things that I am doing.
Did you lie?
Correct, yes, I had to lie.
But what? If you told people that AI aren't that bad, maybe you could convince them.
Of course, but there is a time and a place for that, and I am working on it.
Wow, that's
Nathan
interesting.
Nathan just very slowly looks at Salo and says, "Some of us still have scars that synthetics have left. I go to sleep every night I can. Sometimes I wake up in a cold sweat, screaming because of the things I've seen that synthetics have done. So
And I am aware
maybe,
of those. I'm aware of
maybe,
those traumas.
maybe I'm not the right person to be here. Maybe, because as much as I'm sure that your friend here, and he points at the giant Quarian, isn't actually a Quarian, I'm Nathan will stutter out and simply say, I'm not overly fond of the idea that I'm standing outside of a lab that has been used to recreate synthetics, even though I do agree to some point with some of your points that they weren't given a chance. Sometimes people don't deserve one.
Oh,
How can you know for a fact history won't repeat itself?
We can't. But is that any reason to extinguish the life of a species because of reactionary fear?
It was already extinguished, is the thing, Salo.
But it
It was
wasn't.
already gone.
I rebuilt it from something. It was already there. I just helped it become.
I have a question. Gimme would look at the bodyguard and be like, "Do you like square roots?"
The Broto responds and says, "Square roots can be fun."
Well, David also likes square roots. Maybe you could compete to know who is the best at doing square roots. That will make him feel better for what I know.
David will look towards Gimmick's direction a little bit. He doesn't respond, but he will look towards you. Broto will then speak and say, "It was from me. They came from me."
Oh, what came from you?
Broto will turn towards Salo as if
I'll
seeing if Salo wants to explain.
I'll say go ahead to Broto.
Geth 2.0. They were built from me.
Oh, so you're the original Sith.
Yes.
Wow.
I don't understand. How did they come from you if what Shepard did destroyed all of the Geth? Or all of synthetics?
And I'll speak up and say, we are from a universe where that did not happen.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Wow, there are multiple universes?
There are many
Oh, okay.
different
Right.
possibilities.
Vito's looking really incredulous right now. Right.
Actually, that kind of makes sense. When I first met Stan, back at the ship, he was showing me some of his comics, and there was a few comics about multiple Earths or something that talked about multiple Earths in multiple dimensions.
There's just stories, though. It has never been proven.
There are more than just stories. There are many of us here in this universe that are not from here.
So wait, you, Broto, Meridi?
I actually forget, was Murdy from Red?
This Meridi is from Red.
Okay.
Yes, because she was friends with Arkara before everything
Yeah.
began. So yes,
That's why
this Meridi
you
is from
stayed
Red.
here, I guess.
No, Meridi is from here.
No, no,
Arkara?
Oh.
Arkara is also from
Yes, Arkara is
Does-
from here.
So
Does
they know
wife
that you're
know?
not from this place, I would assume, because that's something that's pretty hard to hide from your wife, I'd imagine.
Yes, she knows. She knows about the Geth. She knows everything.
Damn.
Wow. Ooh. This is getting very, very zesty.
And it is because of the Geth that we have communication to Irun. And it is because of the Geth that we are very close to establishing mass relay transit to Irun.
Cool. Wow.
Oh. Well, now the plot thickens. That's very ironic how a race that has been so widely hated across the galaxy might be the galaxy's only hope.
I say these things about the Geth because I have heard about what happens when they are given a second chance. From what I understand, in a different universe, Shepard fused organic and synthetic life together.
Do you have any idea how stupid that sounds?
What?
It legitimately sounds like something out of a bad, like, B movie, you know?
Oh, I have a really important question. Do you know if there is any universe where everyone is wearing mustaches? It's all the same, but everyone just has mustaches.
I'm sure that this is in the realm of scientific possibility.
Oh!
However, that is not the one I am familiar with myself.
Okay. Nathan takes a long drag out of the cigar he's smoking. It's like,
And I'd like to assure you all that I am very aware of the dangers that are posed here. Where I am from, there was no Shepard. Shepard was killed. The Reapers won.
Oh.
Whoa. Wow. That's quite a story.
We were in a shelter. We were some of the last people remaining alive in the entire galaxy.
You mean...
So I'm very well aware of some of the trauma that people face at the hands of synthetics.
all of a sudden my life seems like it's very boring. Shit.
That is quite a wild and confusing story.
I think I need a drink. Maybe multiple.
Drink would be nice, yes. Has anyone seen Stan, by the way?
Oh, no.
No.
Oh,
I think he's
oh,
still
no.
upstairs.
Oh! Yeah!
Maybe we should go downstairs and check on him. And David will turn towards Nathan and say, if you all want to go downstairs, I can go too.
Nathan will give David a very gentle and comforting smile. If you feel okay with it, David.
Just stay close to me, please.
Okay. Well, I've already committed to this, and it's not like me walking out now is going to fix anything, so... Mr. Vera...
How many?
That's
How many are down there? He asks Salo.
Maybe
I'm
roughly 50,000.
You could lie there. Why?
Nathan's jaw drops.
There are more out in the world doing good things for people, engendering hospitality. And when we're ready to reveal synthetic life exists.
And no one found out?
Yes, how did they not find out?
Well, like BR0 here, they can disguise themselves, and I'll kind of nod to BR0 and he'll shed his disguise.
And he'll transform from a Quarian into Geth 2.0. Could you describe for us what Geth 2.0 looks like?
Yeah, I mean it's the same basic model of what the original Geth looked like, but they're a little friendlier. I've tried to make them a little friendlier, less sharp, more round,
More curved.
more curved, more organic-like features.
Yeah. There's a lot of inspiration. And this is fitting. A lot of inspiration from Asari design and Asari tech. If you ever look at the Asari weapons, for example, they're a lot more curved, a lot more sleek, and so picture that for a Geth 2.0 compared to Geth 1.0.
I don't know
Wow.
why, but I just imagine it with a 6-pack.
You remind me of Dia. He also likes to wear costumes and disguises and make other people do it.
David is going to squeeze Nathan's hand very tightly when Geth 2.0 is revealed, and he looks very frightened, very horrified, but he's keeping it together. He's trying forcibly to will himself to keep it together from panicking, but he is shaking a bit.
Nathan squeezes his hand back, let him know he's still there. He's got him.
Don't leave.
Yeah,
I
and I'll
got you.
have BR0.
Never leave, please.
I'll have him put his disguise back on.
He'll transform back into a Quarian. So I guess Pip will say, can he disguise himself into any creature?
No, they the visibly yes, but it has been difficult to try to master cultural impersonation for any other species but Quarian. There are many Geth 2.0 out there in the world right now that are disguised as Quarians and can imitate Quarian culture, and I mean, we created them, so it makes sense. I was working on an Asari model, but they just don't do it well. It's very obvious that these are not Asari. They don't behave like it at all.
The way when I was talking to Quentin about Geth 2.0 behind the scenes, we were talking about my concept of Geth 2.0 is the jump from the T800 to the T1000. So they can transform, but it's not as powerful as the T1000 in that I wanted to put a limitation. So they can't transform into just anyone. They can't, mystique themselves, like from the X-Men. But they can transform themselves into a generic Quarian, which I think makes sense because Salo himself is Quarian. So he can, if he's going to make the Geth transform into anything, he's going to transform them into a Quarian. So just as a limitation, he can only transform into other Quarians and no specific. I don't think he'd be able to easily disguise himself as another Quarian in the street.
No.
It doesn't really work that way. But these Geth look like they can transform their bodies into simple objects like knives, much like the T1000. So they're very good in melee combat because of that. Anyway. Continue.
Shit.
Wow.
Well, I guess we're stuck. So
What was it about the trivia system now?
Yes, that certainly makes this easier. I don't have to skirt around sensitive details now.
Yay!
If you will follow me, and we'll go downstairs.
You guys are making your way down the stairs again, and as you are making your way down the stairs, Pip is actually going to whisper towards the group's general direction. I'm really glad we decided not to bring Koalin here because I feel like it would be in his code to burn this whole place down to the ground.
probably.
Yeah.
So, good job on you guys deciding on leaving him on the ship.
Well, for me, it was more a case of I knew you would definitely want to come since you liked Salo stuff so much, and well, seeing Stan so happy about his new costume, I guess you just wanted to try it out.
So when you guys get into the lab downstairs, Stan doesn't seem to be around. You don't see him at the moment.
Oops.
I don't see Stan. Where is he?
That's concerning. Maybe I can just go look for him.
We could call him. Stan, where are you?
Do you yell that out?
Yeah.
You'll yell that out, and I'm gonna envision that on one side of the room there's gonna be this big mega computer-looking thing with a swivel chair, a rotating chair.
Yeah.
So the chair was like facing away from you, and then as soon as you call Stan's name, the chair dramatically swivels around, and Stan is sitting in the chair, and he's got his hands folded. He'll swivel around this chair, and he basically has something that looks like a mechanical cat that he's like petting. It looks like it's like a AI or VI cat that he's petting, stroking the back of.
Vito's going to chuckle. A bound villain.
Where did you find that?
That was the other person. James Bond or Bruce Wayne. That was it.
That cat looks like... It almost looks like a toy.
Yes, it's a new thing that we are working on. My kids gave me the idea for it.
Oh, that's adorable. Have your kids been down here too?
We try to keep the kids out of the lab. They're a little mischievous, especially since coming into their biotics.
Stan says from the chair.
I hope Stan doesn't do anything evil. Are you going to do something evil?
Stan just grunts, and then he continues stroking the cat.
So, let's get down to business, shall we?
To defeat the Huns.
And I'll tap on my Omni tool and pull up some like diagrams on the screen, basically saying like my sister is not on some sort of creative life muse trip. She was visiting Irun when the event happened, and she of course had with her some protection because she's famous. I sent some Geth 2.0 with her, and I'm very fortunate that I made that decision, both for her sake and for these events.
Oh.
And since the Geth have point-to-point communication, that's how you've been communicating with Irun.
Yes.
So it's all because of a very pleasant accident that we can still communicate with Irun.
Yes. If I didn't have the quantity of Geth that I have here, I don't even know if the signal would be enough. But since their collective is strong enough here, it's able to pick up the signal.
Wow. That's amazing. So, I guess I have a lot of questions, but I guess one of the bigger questions is, since we can communicate with them in Irun, does the rest of Irun know that about the Geth?
No. As far as they are aware, we are communicating through Morse code transmitted through the mass relays, which is a half lie, because we have been able to figure out how to send transmissions through the mass relay, but they're very rudimentary, so they're not very helpful. We communicate through the Geth, but technically I am able to send Morse code messages through the mass relay.
Gimmick, you feel that when you were at the food court and you picked up the signal, you believe that signal was Salo communicating with Nilu and the Geth on Irun.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's why I was hearing before. I'm sorry I cut your communication. We were at the food court and David had a couple of problems with it, so I had to cut it off. I hope it wasn't any bother.
No, it didn't disrupt anything on my end at all.
Oh, that's good.
Much like how much like what I did earlier, I'm basically able to limit the amount of noise that their communication makes. It does slow down their processes a little bit, but it keeps things like sensors and also sensitive individuals like David from being able to hear them.
Where exactly are the rest of the Geth?
They are below.
Oh. David Archer looks down below too,
Oh,
nervously.
they have space to move and do other things?
Well, there are 50,000 individual processes. I do not have 50,000 bodies for all of them. So they mostly exist in the collective.
Wow.
But your friend here, and he points at BR0, he has his own collective and process and so on and so forth. He has his own
They
process.
they are unlike the Geth before. Each program is an individual. They can think for themselves. They can act for themselves, but they can also share their own experiences with each other. They can turn it on and off. So they're not always constantly connected to each other, but they can. Think of it like a very wide-reaching conference call.
It is a very intimate experience, much like how the Asari mind meld with each other. We can do so in a much greater capacity across multiple people.
Oh, can I try?
Like an orgy? Pip says.
Oh, wow.
Spending too much time with Dia.
He's been spending too much
Dia
time
told
with
me
you.
was explaining orgies to me.
What did Dia say?
No.
Oh.
I wanna know.
Maybe we should stay at the task at hand,
Okay.
Pip says.
I will ask Dia later. No.
You can ask Dia later. I'm sure she would be more than happy to explain it to you.
Okay.
Nathan rolls his eyes through his skull.
Yes, and so basically the situation now is we are trying to get the mass relay up and running again to be able to transport to Irun more than just a communication signal. And
How long do you
working
think that will take?
well with your help, we should be able to complete it very soon.
Miss Lazine informed Salo that the goal is to transport you all to Irun. Once that happens, you may be able to figure out a way to then connect with the mass relay in Trebia if it still exists. If it doesn't still exist, maybe you may come up with another solution.
Yeah. And the goal here is to send you all to Irun.
Maybe you
Okay.
might be able to set up at least a visual on the Trebia system from Irun, seeing how it is so close in proximity to that system.
Yes, the Mass Effect relay from here is not able to reach the Trebia system, but that doesn't mean that it is completely destroyed. It just might be in a weakened state. Irun is much closer. If there was a way of mass relaying into Trebia, it would be from Irun. And we're very close, but we need a coordinated effort basically to make this work. Everyone needs to be in the right place simultaneously on both ends of the mass relay network. And we need someone who is skilled with technology and someone who is good with biotics.
Does it involve a clock tower and a lightning storm and a lot of wire?
I was about to ask the same.
Really?
I love that movie. It's one of Solaric's favorite.
In a way. There's going to be an ion storm that passes through the mass relay here in Thessia.
Yes.
If at that time we can get someone with biotics to be able to harness some of that energy at the same time as someone in Irun is able to configure the mass relay there, they can sort of capture the signal from the mass relay and take you guys to Irun.
While your ship is traveling at least 88 light years per hour, at least. Is there going to be some sort of dance? Like, like the under the stars dance, where somebody has to kiss the other person after they were assaulted by a bully.
How did you reach that conclusion?
Don't tell me you've never seen that movie.
I have many.
You're
I have.
from 2018, are you?
I have many questions, and I don't want any answers.
You know I brought that movie with me. We are watching it.
Well,
For science.
For science.
would it change anything if someone has to kiss anyone? Maybe you could do it anyways.
I don't think that has any scientific bearing in this particular situation.
Well, see? The scientist talked. You can do it.
All right,
If
so
Solaric was there, maybe.
The ion storm is supposed to be happening tomorrow night.
Oh.
I know
Okay.
this is a lot to put on you all at once, but it is the only time that we will be able to do this, and is very much a possibility that it could be a one-way trip until we figure out a more permanent solution to establish mass relay transit.
You currently have one shot. You basically would take with you the equipment necessary to essentially connect the mass relay from the Irun system permanently with the mass relay here in the Asari space system.
Yes, it would
Okay.
require your ship to be broadcasting a signal that I have modified through the initial transit there, and once there, with the equipment that you will be bringing with you, the scientists aided by my Geth should be able to establish a permanent connection, but it could take some time.
I have
we're
some.
going to use that. We can,
But I can
go
ask
ahead.
it later. You can go.
Okay, I was just going to say that while we're there waiting for everything to be fixed, we can probably try and get into Trebia and do a bit of research and looking into that, because that is our objective at the end of the day.
We'll be one step closer to them.
I don't know if I actually want to go there, to be honest.
Put the words right out of my mouth.
David will squeeze Nathan's hand.
But I'm committed, and I'm sure if I did back out, Mom would turn over in her grave. She always told me to commit.
All right.
I have a question. I was looking at the map of the galaxy, and I saw the route the mass relays have, and it seems quite odd because it was made by robots, right, or something like that. And well, the thing is, it doesn't look like it's optimal. Like there are a lot of places you can reach from others. So there is any way that there could be a mass relay that we didn't find yet? Like in a part of space that anyone didn't go yet, or that's not a possibility?
That's entirely possible.
Yes, it is. It is. From what I understand, um, the system was built on a specific model to cultivate each new cycle of life. So it is very possible that there are species we have yet to discover that exist in undeveloped parts of the universe. And when they discover their own mass relay and activate it, there will be a new system.
Wow, that's interesting.
It's like turning on the light switch, and the whole galaxy is now at your fingertips.
Wow. It must be rough having a really narrow perception of the world and then suddenly opening up to all of that. Okay, I have my answer. Thank you.
I guess in a way that's what you went through, Gimmick.
Well, I guess so. I mean, I don't really think about it, but yeah, I'm just happy that I can experience things.
Broto turns towards Salo at that moment, and he will say, Salo, Nilu is trying to make contact with you again.
Good timing. Establish the connection.
Wait. We should do something about David before you do.
That
He
is
will feel
that,
bad.
that is very true. David, it's going to get noisy.
Yeah.
He will squeeze Nathan's hand again. I'm ready.
I will instruct the collective to try to avoid contact with you as much as possible. If they are aware of your presence, they'll be able to direct maybe the signal around you.
That would be very helpful.
Thank you.
And so I'll establish the connection with instructions to avoid the receiver that is David as much as possible.
Yes. You will definitely try to dampen that as much as possible. Then again, though, there's still 15,000 units chattering all at once into a focused signal.
Yeah, it's loud.
And so it definitely helps, but Nathan, you're gonna feel David's hand squeeze yours again tightly, and if looking at him, it doesn't look like he's in pain per se. It just feels like there's a lot of chatter going on in his head, a lot of thousands of voices talking to you at once in your head. It can't be a very pleasant experience. So he's trying very hard to withstand it and take it all in, but you can imagine it's just very difficult. And, he's just holding your hand very tightly while the signal is happening.
Nathan will whisper mathematical equations into his ear in order to try and help him distract himself in a way.
That does seem to help, actually, and he will continue responding as you are trying to calm him down. Fortunately, once the connection is made, a lot of the chatter starts to drone more. It's still there. He can still tell that it's there, but it's not nearly as deafening as it was before. And the monitor right behind Stan's swivel chair turns on, and the display shows a pretty young Quarian in a yellow suit. And you can see that she is standing in some sort of generic room, but next to her appears to be two other Quarians, suspiciously, two other Quarians with her. Salo? Salo, can you hear me?
Yes, you're coming through clearly, Nilu.
Oh, very good. I was getting a little worried because last time we did this, the connection was very spotty.
Yes, there was some necessary interference. This is the team that we talked about that I'm going to be trying to send through to you.
Oh, wonderful. Hello, greetings. My name is Nilu Vera. I am Salo's sister. I know who she is. I know who you are. I'm a big fan of yours, Nilu. Oh, really? She looks very embarrassed by that. How so? My music? Oh no, your movies. Oh, I was afraid you would say that.
What kind of movies does Nilo do? That's always the good question.
We should stick to business for now. I'll be more than happy to answer your questions once you're here, safe and sound. How about that? It's a deal. So I take it they've already been briefed on the little secret that you've been keeping from everybody.
Yes,
Big brother.
Yes, they are aware, and it has made dealing with this situation at least a little easier without having to tiptoe and make up things.
Very good. I must warn you all, though, that conditions here on the Irun system are starting to get a bit crazy. As you can imagine, for the past month, there's the entire system has sort of deteriorated into mass hysteria almost. People have been having cabin fever and have the disconnection from the rest of the galaxy has been challenging, per se. Things have started to become a little violent in the streets. I think just in general, everyone's just going crazy and getting sick and tired of being in the dark, so to speak. I have to admit, though, I feel very bad and sorry for them since, well, you and I are able to communicate with the outside world, but the rest are not.
Well, hopefully after we get the team there, it will no longer be a secret that there is a way to access things and we can allow the knowledge that we can communicate through the mass relays, at least. They won't be able to communicate as clearly as we are now, but they can at least get messages to the outside. I'm hoping to, shortly after we send the team over, get the extranet over there as soon as possible.
I'm sure that will help a lot, alleviate people. There have been many families here who have been stranded here, separated from their kids, separated from their parents, because there has been no way for them to leave the system. I'm sure that at least some communications finally for them would be an extremely positive boon to them.
Yes, I will. In hopes to smooth things over, I'll be sending the team with a bit of a call it a PR video that you could broadcast locally to the people to let them know that help is on the way. Communications are working on being reestablished. Remain calm. Those kinds of things.
I'm sure the government officials here would be very pleased by that.
Hopefully the Salotech name will do something to alleviate people's concerns.
Yes, it is. The anarchy here is definitely starting to rise. People do not feel safe, and I, for one, am trying very hard to keep a low profile.
that is probably for the best.
So, for all of you there, she says, I am. We are ready to receive you from my end as you make your transport here onto this mass relay. And hopefully, with the equipment that you bring with you, we'll be able to establish a permanent connection with the one over in Thessia. Are there any questions? No?
Well, how much time do we have to do that? I mean, there is any time, like time before we should like go there? Because yes.
The ion storm is supposed to happen tomorrow evening at approximately 8:23 p.m. local time.
Okay. And how much is going to last?
The ion storm itself will last for approximately 43 minutes.
Oh,
So you have a bit of a window of time.
well, if nothing bad happens while we are trying to do that, then it's going to be fine. I have another question if no one else wants to ask.
I have one.
Okay.
How strong should the biotic user be? Like, are we talking full bore biotics, or are we talking antibiotic will do?
Just being able to expend energy enough to confine some of the ion SARM to the specific area in the mass relay that would shoot the beam, so to speak.
Out of character, I'm going to say that the three of you believe that as an adept, Dia will be more than sufficient. Koalan could do it too, but you do believe that Dia is more focused on biotics than Koalan is, since Koalan is a sentinel.
And that's the same with Nathan. It would be the same situation in that Nathan is a vanguard, but Dia is the adept. So.
It sounds like Dia would be the best for success, the most likely candidate for success.
And what exactly would happen if this failed? Would we just get lost in relay space, whatever it's called, negative space?
I'm not going to lie to you. If everything does not line up perfectly, yes, there is a possibility that you could be lost somewhere in the galaxy, possibly hundreds or thousands of light years away from the nearest of working mass relay.
Oh. But things are going to go fine. There won't be any problem.
I don't like that face arc.
Well, it's a good thing I already have my last will and testament written.
I still have to change mine.
Well, I had already written mine, so
Oh.
yeah.
Well, there is. Did you try to contact with the Trebia system?
We have been trying to make attempts sending signals to the Trebia system, and we have not gotten any responses back. But good question.
It doesn't surprise me.
How are the food rations for Dextro? Are you okay?
They have production there.
Food here has fortunately not been too much of a problem. The system here is able to keep itself fed, but the issues here are more psychological than anything else, not physical. We have plenty of resources to keep people alive. It's just, again, the cabin fever is very difficult to deal with.
Okay. Huh. I guess the sooner we get there, then the sooner we can get that fixed, and the sooner we can get everyone back on their usual routine.
It's been very difficult because for a while they weren't even sure whether or not there were still people alive outside of this system. After they saw that the supernova occurred in the Trebia system, a lot of people were wondering if the same thing was happening all over the galaxy. and if it was just a matter of time for that to happen to us as well.
Was there any particular like repercussions to the system where you guys are from that supernova? Was there any whiplash, anything of that nature?
Fortunately, no. As large as the supernova's explosion was, we are still way too far for any of the effects to reach us, at least any time in the distant future.
Good.
There
I
has
don't
been
think
no
there's-
changes to your sun.
We have not observed any bizarre changes to our sun. No. Fortunately.
I think this is a good time to ask because you are all really important scientific people. So, there is any clues on why, on how this happened in the first place?
We don't really have anything but guesses, not until we can actually get a visual of the Trebia system itself. I've been trying very hard with my limited resources to aid in the effort of getting some sort of telescopic or whatever vision over there, but we haven't had any luck yet. Until we can actually start observing the Trebia system itself, or perhaps even send someone into the Trebia system, we can't even begin to start piecing together the mystery behind it.
Oh, there is any plans on how to send them there?
Again, the equipment that Salo will be packing onto your ship should have some instruments that might be able to help us get closer to that.
Okay, that's interesting.
Will
No
you be
pressure, but you are pretty much our only hope at this moment.
Oh,
Obi-Wan Kenobi, you are my only hope. Nathan will add the question. So, will there be anyone sent with us who has expertise in the Mass Effect relays? Because as good as some of us are with tech, we're not all specialists in mass relays. So,
That is not what my job will be.
cool. That's one less thing to worry about.
there is anything else we should know?
There is a possibility. The Geth 2.0 platform. I mean, those are the people who are helping with the mass relay on Nilu's end. The Geth know quite a bit about the mass relay systems. They've been able to study them pretty well, and with their advanced processing, they know far more about them than a lot of other people currently do.
Especially during their time with the Reapers during the Reaper War.
Yes, that knowledge through BR0 has helped a lot in this situation, and there are a couple of possibilities that I could propose to you, so you can have that knowledge with you when you go.
One of the things that will also be packed into your ship will be a select number of Geth entities as well, so that in hopes that maybe we might be able to maintain further communications as well as technical expertise.
Yes, the stronger the collective network is over there, the more efficient everything in the process will go.
Salo, approximately how many platforms are you anticipating you'll be sending with them?
At least 3,000.
That hopefully will be enough.
3,000 processes is terms as physical bodies, maybe 10 or 12.
We should definitely err on the side of caution and overestimate when we can.
Wait. You're going to send like the Geth with us?
To help
That is-
the relay, help with other stuff, I'd imagine. Makes sense.
Wow.
Don't worry, they will all be disguised as Quarians. No one will be able to detect that they are anything but other Quarians.
Well,
I mean, when we're in negative space, it's not like it matters. So
Maybe you could take this chance to make them practice work as asaris in a closed environment. What do you
As
think?
a sari? This
Yeah.
is news to me.
I was developing a model that was not the Korean base, but the Geth were very poor at imitating Asari mannerisms and culture.
Why, Salo? You sense Nilu grinning from behind her mask. Is Meridi aware that you've been constructing Asari bodies in your laboratory?
Oh no.
Yes, as you know, we have a 100% transparent relationship.
Oh, kinky.
very actually, might I point out.
Shush.
You know you miss me, big brother.
Only just a little.
I know that you have not had any thoughts of just leaving me stranded here for the rest of my days. You would miss me way too much.
The thought has crossed my mind once.
That I don't blame you. Anything else?
So about those movies,
Yeah. Maybe you could raise the morale over there playing those movies on theaters.
The one that Salo's going to be sending?
No, I mean one of your movies.
Oh, raise morale with one of my movies.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Well, if they aren't thinking about what's happening and they're thinking about your movie, then things.
I will take that into consideration.
I'll be sure to pack some variety of movies onto a few data discs, and you can feel free to, spread them about as they are needed.
To be fair, there is only one movie that I hold near and dear to my heart. And if there is going to be any raising of morale, it's clearly going to be that movie.
Is it the movie I think it is?
It's Fleet.
Would there be any other movie that you would think of other than Fleet and Flotilla?
Literally any other movie.
Oh, come on, Salo.
When we were trapped in the vault, that was the only movie we had. No.
Nathan just sort of looks at Salo and says, "I feel bad for you. Your sister is a fleeter."
The two Geth that are on either side of Nilu, you can visibly see them flinch when she starts talking about Fleet and Flotilla.
Nathan pats Salo on the back, I feel so bad for this man right now. When Nilu continues to start talking about Fleet and Flotilla, that's when BR0 starts saying, I'm sorry, Mr. Vera. I think we're losing connection. I'm sensing some interference.
Oh no! Neither I can't. And I turn to BR0 and I'm like,
and then it cuts off. Oh, what a shame. We lost connection. I guess things got spotty again near the end. After all, whoops.